Space. I'm so tired of hearing that statement. The fact is there's plenty of space in the school to display sports trophies, culinary awards, Formula One trophies, and everything else the students and coaches work so hard to achieve. In the lobby of the new gym alone, if record boards are moved, and why we went through and Jim Anderson and I talked about this, you move things around in there, and you bring strips of wood down 8 feet. You can go down 8 feet. We measure there's 540 square feet. 270 trophies can fit just in the lobby, just using the north and south walls. That's not using any place else. The bottom line is, we have many options. Getting rid of the trophies shouldn't even have been considered. The claim of not enough room is ridiculous and is being used to cover up a huge mistake. I also want to mention something else. Some of the current coaches just want plates. So the problem was solved in May. Put up the 162 trophies that represented around 3.5 decades, and for the next... Well, I got to finish. Sorry. And for the next 3.5 decades, put up the plates. Problem solved. I don't get that part. And it can still be a solution. I personally was devastated. I was so proud of what our girls basketball program had achieved. I started the program from ground up in 1978, and I remember every game, every trophy. I remember playing Sealy in a divisional championship game, down by 14 points going into the last quarter, and beating them in triple overtime. And I remember those girls were so tired they could hardly hold the trophy up. It just shows no respect or appreciation for all those who were part of so many memories. I know for a fact what happened has hurt a lot of people. I've already heard from over 50 ex-players and many parents, and a lot of them are devastated. I was asked by a board member what I wanted to get out of this. I want the 45 girls basketball trophies back. And I know Mr. Oberweiser and Mr. Anderson want the trophies they were part of as well back. I also want to be part of things going forward. I went over twice, asked Mr. Cott, told him I have some ideas and want to be part of things. There's a month passed, and I haven't been included in anything. So here we are tonight with the title of Trophy Wall Committee, whatever that is. Well, I hope the Wall Committee needs to bring back the history and tradition back. Okay? So somewhere along the line things need to be figured out. 50 of the trophies are totally gone. There's wood left, stacked up, but 50 backs are gone. And I don't know the cost, which we'll go through later here, of those replacing those trophies, but it needs to be figured out. But the trophies that represent a part of this school need to be displayed properly. So, thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Mike. Karen?
Yeah. This is going to take a little different tack here, but I think this is kind of important. My name's Karen Rozier, and I would just like to talk a little bit about process and procedure used by public agencies when conducting business, as set forth in Title II and Title 20 of Montana State Law, because lack of following them is how I feel we got to where we are today. I know a little bit about this because I was the school district clerk here for 30 years. I served with 6 different superintendents and many different boards, and I'm sure that this would have never happened in those 30 years. You've all heard about open meeting laws. Montana's sunshine laws, or open meeting laws, are among the most stringent in the nation and apply to all boards, commissions, committees, and districts. The law states that public boards in this state exist to aid in the conduct of the people's business. It is the intent that actions and deliberations of all public agencies shall be conducted openly. The people of the state do not wish to abdicate their sovereignty to the agencies which serve them. Toward these ends, the provisions of this law shall be liberally construed. For a board to conduct business legally, number one, they must have a quorum. Number two, hear, discuss, and act upon issues they have jurisdiction over. Number three, the meeting must be open to the public, and the press must be permitted to record the meeting. And number four, appropriate minutes shall be kept and made available to the public. Each board must develop procedures and adopt rules to facilitate public participation in decisions that are of significant interest to the public. The procedures include a schedule of regular meeting times and actions to be considered. The public must be afforded a reasonable opportunity to offer information and opinions before final decisions are made. A matter of significant interest is defined as one involving any decisions or actions which has meaning to or affects a portion of the community. Discrepancies as to whether a meeting is of significant public interest should always err on the side of transparency and opportunities for public participation. The agenda for a meeting must include an item allowing public comment on any public matter that is not on the agenda of the meeting. However, the board may not take action on any matter discussed unless specific notice of that matter is included on an agenda and public comment has been allowed on that matter. That's from Title 23202 Montana Code Annotated. It is my opinion that the above processes were not followed because if they had been, the trophies would be intact. And now just a little bit about trustees' power over property. From 20-6-602 MCA, the trustees of any district shall have the power and the responsibility to hold in trust all real and personal property of the district for the benefit of the schools and children of the district. And in the event the trustees decide that they want to dispose of some property, as stated in 20-6-604, whenever the trustees of a district determine that a site, building, or any other real or personal property of the district is or is about to become abandoned, obsolete, undesirable, or unsuitable for school purposes of the district, the trustees may sell or otherwise dispose of the property by adopting a resolution to sell or otherwise dispose of the property. The resolution may not become effective for 14 days after the notice is made. The trustees shall provide notices of the resolution in a manner required for school elections in 20-20-204, and a taxpayer may appeal the resolution of the trustees at any time prior to the effective date of the resolution. I do not remember hearing or seeing any such resolution. I don't remember seeing any agenda item dealing with destruction of trophies. So let's stand up and be heard.
Do you have any other public comment? Carrie?
I'm Carrie McClure. You know, I didn't graduate from Drummond, my kids did, and I have a lot of relatives here. And reading, I apologize for earlier because I thought I'd talk in public comment, but reading this, I see that there's a committee. And so I just request that the board, asked that you guys form some sort of committee to come up with some solutions, and I have no solutions to offer actually. But if there's a committee, then I ask the board to nominate, several people, at least school teachers or previous alumni, or coaches, so that, that we can be all on the same page and bring it before the public, so that the public can at least see what's going on and what you're doing with it. Because I know, like, my kids are concerned because they'd like to be able to bring their kids up to show them, hey, that's my trophy from when I was in high school. And then I ask the board to make some sort of a resolution to protect the senior portraits. because that was another rumor going around, whether it's rumor or not, that you don't have any room. People are afraid that their pictures are gonna disappear along with their relatives and their parents, and like my kids are worried that their pictures are gonna be gone along with their dads and their cousins.
I'd like to guarantee, Carrie, that's rumor like a lot of other stuff that's going around.
Okay,
And there's no such thing even been talked about.
okay,
Not through any school board functions or, I can tell you that.
I just asked that, that they are protected, something in writing or something that they can be protected from now going forward, so nothing can happen to them either. And I also have, a few emails and letters from other people, and I just ask you to please take these into consideration too, and everybody else in the room that has these concerns.
Anybody else like to say anything this time? Rick Lacey.
I'll stand back here so everybody can see.
Yeah, come on back.
I appreciate the board listening to the concerns we have. I heard about it from my children when they indicated to me that they had heard it from somebody else, and it's a hard way to hear it. So I'll read this. To the Drummond School Board. Tradition means a great deal to me and my family. My uncle George Hill was in the first graduating class of DHS. My mother Karma helped build the D in 1938. 3 of her brothers and sisters graduated here. My father George started the music program here and was chairman of the board for several years. I might add, served with Andy Weaver's grandfather. All 5 of my brothers and sisters attended DHS. I graduated from DHS. All 7 of my children attended and graduated from DHS. Many of the trophies and awards we're talking about were earned by my children, including a state championship. What is a trophy? It's a physical representation of hundreds of hours of hard work and accomplishment, giving credit to students and coaches. Who owns the trophy? Who has the right to display the trophy? Who can authorize destruction of a trophy? We've heard about that. We're here as members of the school district, friends, former students, and coaches to speak up about the destruction of nearly $8,000 worth of trophies that were dismantled. I reached this conclusion with an estimate of 162 trophies taken and dismantled at a value of $50 to $60 a piece, which was priced by the MHSA. This amount of school property, if destroyed without following requirements in the code, could be a real problem. The following questions need to be asked. It has been stated by the administration that the school board authorized destruction and dismantling. Number 1, what process took place in making the decision? 2, what efforts were made to inform the public notice hearings or public input? 3, what specific instructions were given by the school board administration as to personnel involved in procedures? 4, what memos, documents were used to authorize the process? 6, what efforts were made to involve athletes, past and present, in the decision? What efforts were made to involve coaches, past and present, in the decision? What input did these individuals present regarding the displays? What was the timetable? What was the overall plan to display as a finished product? What is the purpose of the trophy wall committee? And I asked that because I just heard this afternoon there was such a committee. Who decides its membership? What input will the community have in it? I'm submitting these questions and would like specific answers to be published by the school board and administration for the benefit of informing the community. I'll leave you a copy of this. Traditions, trophies, and records of accomplishment are the only things we take with us as students and coaches at any school. The school board is made up of some family members of historical families in the area, others are new, with very little exposure to traditions from here. Yes, they were all duly elected. All, however, have a duty and obligation to respect and honor the traditions of this school. I don't intend to judge your motives. I only judge what I have seen. Dozens of past graduates and athletes have expressed disgust, dismay, and outright anger at what they've seen. The photos of dismantled trophies, newspaper accounts that vary from personal claims of those directly and indirectly involved have created even more questions. There are a lot of unresolved concerns. There is also a lot of skepticism about the ability to be open. Okay,
We're over our timer,
I'm wrapped, I got 2 sentences left. About the openness and is that okay?
Keep going.
Okay. About the opportunity for a fair hearing on the issue. I appreciate your letting us speak tonight. Thank you. Please don't try to muzzle those involved in presenting their complaints. I haven't seen any of that. If this hearing isn't fair, if undue pressure is given to suppress testimonies and statements, you only prolong the agony this situation has presented to our community. This school belongs to the people, all of them. Don't misunderstand your place here and what you were elected and hired to do. There you go.
Thank you, Rick. Would anybody else like to say something? Mr. Rozier.
My name is Pete DeRozier. My wife and I have had 9 children graduate from this school. I have 1 great-grandchildren in this school, and in a couple of years I'll have 3 great-grandkids in this school. When I see this say, trophy wall committee, well, I think this trophy wall committee should be there to replace and repair the trophies that were destroyed so that we can put them up on the wall. I don't understand why it was done. It's a personal thing, like I said, 9 kids, 18 years coaching here. Not only that, it's about 32 years teaching. And I can't understand how this could happen. And that's what I said at the last meeting. How could this have occurred? Well, it did. So how do we correct it? That's the bottom line. We want the trophies back. The whole idea of these people here is to let's get these trophies back on the wall. It can be corrected. Thank you.
Go ahead, Rick.
This whole sad situation has been weighing on my mind and heart since it began. If I didn't take a stand on this, what kind of moral character would I have, or friend would I be? A poor one, not worth having. I still have a tough time wrapping my mind around why would anyone do such a mindless, thoughtless act of disrespect. Another is why weren't the people that helped earn these trophies or the community involved in this decision? Yes, I know some were, but they obviously thought a little metal plate was enough. So when they win their next trophy, all they will need is the metal plate. No worries about enough room. Coaches with their names on the largest percentage of the trophies weren't involved or consulted, or this wouldn't have happened. Bradshaw, Overweiser, Anderson, and Anderson, and of others, of course. It seems that the people or person with no blood, sweat, or tears or pride in these pieces of wood, metal, and plastic made the decision that they should be destroyed or dismantled. How is that even acceptable or in the realm of common sense? It isn't. Why weren't the coaches that invested thousands of hours of practice, travel, and games, with the most memories, sacrifices, heartache, and victories, who actually still work at the school, involved in what to do with the trophies? At this point, the three individuals have yet to be asked to participate in the solution. Why? After all, they were the ones that helped win so many and had the biggest investment. They helped their players be better and made the school and community proud to be a Trojan. I have known Mike all my life, and I can say that I have never seen him lose his cool or get mad. He is just not that type of person. But when something is wrong, as this has happened, and it is personal to Mike, as it should be, he let people know that he was angry and hurt, and that it was an unconscionable act, and how wrong it was and should have never been thought about, less done. And things need to be made right, and those responsible held accountable. How would you feel if you had invested 30-some years in collecting something that you deemed valuable, spent blood, sweat, and tears over, and was proud of your accomplishments, and I come in with no time invested or sentimental value and took them all down or destroyed them because of who knows why? That is just not right, no matter what spin or twist you put on the reason. No, these are not Mike or Jim or Tim or Don's or other coaches' trophy. They belong to the school and community. It's not about whose they are. It's the principle of the matter and lack of respect for these great accomplishments by the coaches, two who are in the Montana Hall of Fame for coaching. It was done under cover of darkness and by a yet-to-be revealed person or people. Sometimes injustices or other acts of momentary lapses of common sense happen. People need to be called on it and take responsibility for their actions, admit it, and make amends. When things happen or are done that are wrong, if we don't stand up for what is right, we are headed down the wrong road. Bottom line is, it's about right and wrong, black and white, and respect. This has hurt Mike in ways that I can't or won't ever understand, as I'm sure other coaches are hurt too. To use the excuse of not enough room to honor and remind the community of what great coaches and teams we have had over the years, and their many accomplishments